Good evening and welcome to the Goals Nest. Athletic Director, Seaside High School, Jason Boyd here with head football coach
Chad Smith.
Chad, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
The Goals Nest is brought to you by Ocean Crest Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac, home of the lifetime warranty. So, Coach, the 2016 season is underway here at Seaside High School. Actually, our cross-country teams, both boys, girls, soccer, and the volleyball team has a couple of contests under the belt, as well as you have had. We started out the season with the Jamboree. We hosted 7 teams. How do you feel that went for the Seagulls?
I think the Jamboree went well. We had a bunch of young kids that hadn't played any varsity football, and they were thrown in there. And we played some quality opponents, and moved the ball down the field, and had some great defensive stands as well.
So then, week 2, or basically for us fans out there, we host North Marion. North Marion's a program that's been on the rise the last couple of years, and when they got off the bus, they looked pretty big and looked pretty athletic. Their quarterback is a big, tall kid who can stand in the pocket and deliver the rock down the field. But at the same time, I thought defensively we did a pretty good job matching up against them, especially in the first half. Let's go to that first half of that game, and why don't you give me a couple of positives that we can take away from that contest against North Marion?
I thought the kids came out and they played hard. That was a big positive for us. Like I said, in the Jamboree, we had kids that had never played any varsity football, so this would have been their first varsity game. I think we ended up dressing about 20 guys, and probably 15 of those had never played in a varsity game before. And so, North Marion, like I said, is a great program. Coach Bill does a great job, and they had some big offensive linemen, and their plan was to run it right at us, and that's kind of their offense, and that's where they had some success.
And so looking at as that game wore on, we start out in the first series, and it was real positive results for the goals. Take us through that first series.
We were just trying to see kind of what was open for us. We ran up the middle a few times, and then we had a bad screenplay. Got us in second and third and long, and then we ran another screenplay for about a 50-yard touchdown to a running back out of the backfield. So the game couldn't have started any better for us. I think that got the kids excited to be out there and gave them some confidence.
It seemed like after that screenplay, the only thing I heard from their sideline, North Marion sideline on defense, was watch the screen, watch the screen. Like it seemed like about every play they were yelling, watch the screen, watch the screen. So as that game moved on there in the first half, North Marion was able to ultimately get a field goal. So we're at the end of the first quarter, 6-3. Kids looked pretty strong, but like you said, not a lot of numbers and a lot of kids going both ways.
Right. We had a lot of kids going both ways. Again, kids that haven't played varsity football, and we're asking them to do a lot of things for us. Really kind of wore us down, and North Marion is a team that's very aggressive defensively. They blitz at least 6 guys, sometimes 7. Sometimes they're going to blitz more guys than we have to block. So, that eventually caught up to us.
So another positive thing, Coach, that I thought I saw out there was your receiving corps' ability to catch the ball in the face of danger. There was a couple of really nice grabs that, kind of highlight style because they know they're going to get drilled. And, kind of that over-the-shoulder, twisting, turning, jumping type of maneuvers to reel in that football. And we had some big gains because of that.
Yeah, our receivers went up and got the football, and we had a young quarterback back there, and he was under a lot of pressure a lot of the night. And so, it was kind of a hard thing for us to ask of him. He didn't play a lot of quarterback in middle school, and we kind of asked him here 2 or 3 weeks in of playing quarterback to kind of be the guy that goes out there and runs our offense. So there were some throws that he threw up, and our receivers made some great plays to go up and get them.
So Braden Johnson, for being a freshman, not playing quarterback in middle school, really doing this now for about 3 weeks. He didn't look bad, Coach. There's a lot of real positive things that I think we could take away from his performance. And obviously there's things that you want to work on. I think with any any competitive kid, they want to try to get the most out of every play every single time. And I know that was one of the things that you guys were talking to him about. Just hold on to the football. Just don't. Yeah, you don't want to hold on to it and end up with a loss. And that's difficult to do. I would imagine it's really difficult to do if you've only been playing that position for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, Braden, he's came in and we kind of talked about him playing quarterback, and he's been a coachable kid at that position. Braden is going to be, and he is right now, a great athlete. And I think as we move on, even in this season, you're going to see a lot of improvement and a lot of him just being more instinctive back there, how much time he has to throw, and those types of things. So it's going to be an exciting year, I think, and we're all excited to see what he can do. And he's, like we talked about, he's only a freshman, so we got 4 more years of him kind of running the offense.
As the second quarter winds down, we end up with a unfortunate play for us, and North Marion's able to get the ball and score, and we go in at halftime, 16-6, and ultimately, that's I think a really happy place, but not satisfied place for us there. And then come out in the second half, and you could tell that just the war of attrition and the fact that North Marion suited up so many kids that could get so many bodies in the game that they were able to just kind of move the ball down the field as they wanted to, and it was a little tougher for us to move the ball. And come away with a loss, but I think we come away with obviously things to work on. And it's not the best way to start your career at Seaside, but we've got another opportunity coming up. So when we come back to the show, we'll talk about our next opponent, Clatskanie Tigers. Welcome back to the Goals Nest. Jason Boyd here with our head football coach at Seaside High School, Chad Smith. The Goals Nest is sponsored by Ocean Crest Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac, home of the lifetime warranty. Don't forget to visit www.oceancrestmotors.com for a great deal. So, Coach, our next opponent here at Seaside High School for our football program will be the Clatskanie Tigers as they come to Broadway Field on September 9th. And that game will kick off at 7 p.m. So, Coach, what can we expect from the Tigers?
Offensively, they are a team that is kind of a kind of a hybrid wing T. At a shotgun, and then also they'll go into some eye back, offset eye, and they'll try to run right at you. Defensively, they're a 4-3 defense. They can sometimes shift into a 5-man front, but those are the two that we saw in their first game. Mm-hmm. As far as overall team, they also are a young team, from what I understand. They have a lot of freshmen playing, but those freshmen are really talented players. And one thing I noticed about Clatskanie at the Jamboree is they're a team that will fly around, and they're really quick, and they're not afraid to come up and hit you, and they're super aggressive. So it'll be a great test for us. So
defensively, you're going to see a 4-3. Do you expect them to bring lots of pressure, knowing that your quarterback is still kind of just getting his feet wet?
I would think any team that watched our film last week would probably bring some pressure. They didn't show a lot of pressure in their first game, but obviously that could change with what they see of our first game.
Right. So what things are you going to do to try to combat the defensive pressure that you're expecting against the quarterback?
I think we'll continue with our screens. We'll continue to work on the timing of those screens, but we'll also, a lot of our quick passes are. I felt at times we held on to the ball too long. Our quick passes is really a catch, one step, and throw. So that's something we're really going to work on this week. Mm-hmm. We're really focusing offensively on just getting better at the things that we have, because we feel pretty confident in those. We have about 15, 16 plays or so right now that if we can really get those plays worked out, then we'll have some success offensively.
So keep it simple and do what you do and do it well, as opposed to having so many tricks in the bag that we just kind of do them all mediocrely.
Right.
Okay, great. So, Coach, now what are you going to do to shut down the wing T?
Again, defensively, we're going to go back to kind of our base stuff. We have 2 different fronts that we're going to use. And like always, Coach Faust is going to be aggressive, and he's going to blitz and go up against the team and ask them, hey, we're going to come at you. You need to stop us. So we're going to be very aggressive defensively, and because we have some good team speed, I think. Mm-hmm. We don't have a lot of great size, but we have some good team speed, and kids fly to the football.
Mm-hmm. So, Coach, just looking at back to our offense again this year, running something a little different. We've run the ball a lot the last couple of years, and of course, our first touchdown is actually off screen, but kind of a running type play. But yet, we're throwing the ball a lot in your offense, spreading it out. Talk to us a little bit about the philosophy of spreading it out and throwing that ball.
We like to get a lot of our receivers because we feel like receiver-wise we have some great athletes. And once we can get them one-on-one with some defenders, they can make guys miss. Eventually and ultimately, my goal is to spread it out. I'd still like to be a running team. I'd still like to run, inside as much as we can.
Mm-hmm.
But like against North Marion, we had to pass a little more because they blitz, more guys than we have to block. So we felt against them we could get the ball to the outside a little bit quicker and get some of those one-on-one matchups. And so the idea of our offense is to spread it out and have those one-on-one matchups with our skill guys, running back, and also our 4 receivers, and have them make plays. Just kind of let them do what they do and be athletes.
So in Clatskanie secondary with that 4-3, how do you see them matching up against your receiving core?
It'll be interesting. They like to run a little bit of zone. They didn't seem to run a lot of man, but I would imagine if they look at our film from last week, they're going to blitz and they're going to play a little bit more man. And so that gives us some of those one-on-one matchups that we look for, and we got to get the ball out quick and let our receivers make plays.
So you have a couple of senior receivers out there that really shine through. A big bright spot I thought in the North Marion game in Otto and Phoenix. And do those two gentlemen match up good against at least height-wise, speed-wise against Clatskanie secondary?
Yeah, I think that we'll match up well. Otto's a bigger, kind of stronger receiver, and Phoenix is kind of a shorter but has a lot of quick moving, and he makes great cuts, and he's kind of elusive. And so we have kind of the best of both worlds there with those guys on one side, and we'll look to get some of those guys the ball on some jet sweeps and also on some quick routes to let them make plays.
Mm-hmm. Well, Coach, really excited about this Friday, September 9th, the 7 p.m. at Broadway Field. Want to encourage everybody to come out and watch the Goals as they take on the Clatskanie Tigers. This will be kind of basically our third home event in a row, and then the following week we saddle up the bus and head off to Yamhill Carleton for another non-league matchup, and then league starts. And of course now the high school season seems to be it's 8 games basically at the 4A level, a little bit shorter than it's been in if you go through the history of schedules here at our classification. So really excited about the opportunity for the Goals as we roll into our league season, and the matchups look good for us. I'm really excited to see where we go, and thank you very much for being on the show today.
All right, thank you very much.
When we return, we'll talk about volleyball, boys and girls soccer, and a little cross country. Welcome back to the Goals Nest. Jason Boyd here, talking about everything Seaside Seagull athletics. Want to focus on our returning state champion boys cross country team. We have basically 6 of the 7 members of last year's team returning this year, including state champion Bradley Reznicki. The Goals' first competition was the end of August at Wilson Twilight Meet, and then went to the Ultimuk here over the Labor Day weekend. And up and coming this Saturday, September 10th, you can watch them run in Tualatin at 9:15 a.m. as they make a charge to defend their state title. The girls cross country program also has a couple of returning state runners in Katie Zagata and Josie Smith, and they have done a fantastic job of training over the summer, and excited to have that opportunity to return to the state meet as well, and hopefully this time bring the rest of the team with them. As we move now into the world of volleyball, varsity volleyball program has had a couple of big wins under the belt so far. They beat Warrenton 3-1 and North Marion 3-0. And this weekend on the 10th of September, they will be at Cascade for the Cascade tournament. There's a lot of high-powered teams there. That starts at 8:30 a.m. If you are in the Valley and want to watch some great volleyball, you can swing on down and watch the Goals. They will open up league play on Tuesday the 13th of September at Scappoose, and their first home league match will be the Clatsop Clash on 9/15. That's Thursday. Volleyball matches this year for varsity starting at 6:45. That's kind of a no earlier than 6:45. The OSAA has approved lower level volleyball participating in 3 out of 5 matches instead of their 2 out of 3, which we've had previously. So the lower levels will be starting at 5 p.m. And, of course, if they go long, the varsity might start a little bit later. But rest assured, if you're coming to watch the varsity, they will not start before 6:45 p.m. On to girls soccer. It's had their one result that we have in so far is at North Marion, which is an up-and-coming program. And the girls ended up in a draw, 2-2. And I know that they felt pretty good about that situation. Going into the Valley, especially this early in the year where it's pretty hot, is not the most conducive for us coastal kids. And Coach Garhofer, new to our program this year in his first year, leading the goals, did a fantastic job and felt really, really positive about that 2-2 result, and looking forward to his competitions against Staten and Corbett the rest of this week. The boys soccer program has hosted Oregon Episcopal and won 3-0. OES, a 3A school, was in the state finals last year and finished second to Faith Bible. And on Thursday, hosted North Marion, who was the league champion for the Oregon West last year and a state semifinalist. And that result ended in a tie, 1-1. The goals were hosting Staten on Tuesday. Don't have that result for you right now, sorry. And they'll be at Corbett on Thursday, the 8th of September. So as the show winds up here, I want to encourage everybody to come down to Broadway Field tonight and watch our varsity girls soccer program as they host Corbett. Corbett's program has done quite well over the years, and I know our goals are very excited to take them on. Remember, there is currently no admission fee to come watch the girls or boys soccer programs here at Broadway Field. We encourage you to come down and support those kids. I want to remind everybody that all of our schedules are online at www.coopaleague.org. Schedules don't change nearly as much as they do in the springtime, but the latest, greatest, most updated schedule can always be found at www.coopaleague.org. Want to encourage everybody to stop by the athletic office and pick up a season pass. Help get you out to the games, also save you some money as you start this year and support the goals. And looking ahead to next week's competition for the boys and girls soccer program, the boys will be at Molalla and then hosting Scappoose to start league, and the girls will be hosting Molalla on Tuesday and then at Scappoose as they start their league play. And football, as I mentioned earlier, will be at Yamhill Carlton. The big cross-country event coming up is the 3-course challenge, and that will be on September 17th at Camp Rylea. Middle school races start at 9 a.m. The high school races start at 10, then at 11, and then at 12 with an open race starting at 12:30. The open race is open to anybody who wants to show up and pay a small fee and be able to run one of the 2 of the 3 courses there at the event. There is a $5 parking fee. Just know that as you come in. If you have your $5 bill handy, it makes it a lot easier getting all those people in. It is one of the largest cross-country events in the Pacific Northwest. We're looking again this year to have 3,000 high school kids participating in this cross-country event. Great year. I've talked with Coach Branson already, and the Mud Pit has lots of water in it this year, so should be lots of exciting racing going on out there. I want to encourage you to come out and support our young athletes as they compete their hearts out here for